Lead discovery and qualification is one of the most manual and time consuming tasks for agencies. Today, you're going to learn a simple 5 step n8n workflow that takes less than 30 minutes to set up and replaces lead gen software that costs thousands of dollars per year. I'm Omer. I previously started a software company that helped marketing agencies automate their competitive intelligence reports. And most recently, I helped a moving business automate their workflows and save over 25 hours per month. If you've never coded before, that is okay. We're going to cover everything you need in detail in this video. The first steps are pretty straightforward, so I'm going to go through those quickly. But once we've got the foundation down, we're going to deep dive into things like best practices around scoring relevance with AI and the most unique places to get leads that other people haven't reached out to. So stick around, you don't want to miss that stuff. I'm going to walk you through a real build of a marketing agency that was targeting doctors' offices, offering cosmetic procedures like veneers. They specifically wanted ones that were running meta ads. Step one is to define the final end state of the data that you're looking for. That means you should ask yourself, what is the exact data I want? In this build, the shape that I defined was just along the company name, website, some social media, and contact information, and then these 3 columns that are super important. This is going to be used for qualification. So, number one, for every lead that is passed in, we're going to hand that off to an LLM, and that AI is going to respond with how relevant that lead is to your business. And that's going to filter out any leads that are just irrelevant or not a good prospect for you to pursue. So, number one, for every lead the LLM scores, it's going to give the reason that it scored that LLM high or low. And second is there's the relevance score, which is, of course, how relevant that lead is to your business. The reason that is on a 0 to 100 scale instead of just yes or no is that allows you to learn over time based on the reason how relevant that is for your business. And if the LLM got things wrong along the way, you can tune it. And finally, there's the confidence score, and that is how confident is the LLM in its relevance score and qualification reason. And the reason you're including this is if it scores somewhere in the middle, 50-50, then a human can go back and review confidence scores that are borderline and confirm that the leads are or are not relevant to your business. So once you have the CRM and final end state of the data set up, you're going to want to connect your CRM to n8n. Step two is to get the raw leads. For this build, we're scraping the meta ads library. We set up this n8n architecture with manual run and also a scheduled trigger so it can run on a schedule. Then there's the config, which just a core requirement of this build is to allow you to search based on keywords. So for this build, it was veneers for the cosmetic procedures and based on country. Then there's connecting to where we're actually going to get the leads data, which is the ad library. So connecting this to n8n, I found this scraper on Appify. Appify is just a collection of scrapers run by other people that you can they charge you 75 cents for 1,000 scrapes. So I found this Facebook ad library scraper. It returns all this data, which is going to be populated into our CRM. It returns whether the ad is still active, which is nice, and of course, country and keyword as well. Now, to actually connect this Appify scraper to n8n, if we click into here, and if you click API and go to the API endpoints, we paste in this API endpoint into an n8n connector. And then if you go to run from CLI and copy paste this string right here into the n8n connector, then that is going to return all the filters that you specify. So if we go here and open up the n8n step, you see this is the URL from before. You're also going to want to set up a credential that contains the password or API key for your Apify scraper. And this is the JSON containing all the filters. Step three is to filter the leads based on relevance. So we've collected our raw ads data. Now we want to pull down who is running those ads and determine how relevant they are to our business. So the first thing is, because one company might run many ads, we first need to deduplicate based on the company name or website. So that's the first step, because we don't want to have multiple duplicate entries of the same company name in our CRM. The second thing is to build the prompt that we're going to pass off to the AI that will determine how relevant that is to our business. So that is what we're doing here. First of all, we're looping through all the different ads we've collected. And second, we're passing in the prompt by giving the AI context about our business. That's going to look different from your business than this business, but you can see it on the screen above, the exact prompt passed in. And a few very important points to note here is that instead of telling the LLM to respond in plain English, we actually want to return a structured data type. And that's because it's much easier for n8n to read that structured data type than plain English. Second, this is where we're going to return all those columns we set up in the CRM. For example, the confidence score, the relevance score, the qualification reason. And finally, because LLMs tend to hallucinate and make up facts that aren't exactly relevant or truthful to the business, then we're going to want to explicitly tell the model to cite evidence for every claim that it makes, and that grounds the response in truth. Finally, once that prompt is passed off to OpenAI or your LLM of choice, that is going to return outputs, and we need to read the structured data that we just outputted and then determine if that lead is qualified or not. Step 4 is to get that additional contact data for your leads. In this case, based on the meta ads that were scraped, we've identified certain companies that are running ads relevant to our business. And so the next step in the build is to pull that Facebook page that is running the ads and then get all the contact details from that Facebook page. And that is with another Apify scraper. You can see it's set up here in exactly the same way as the first one, which is the Facebook scraper. And that is going to take in some Facebook page and pull the contact details such as phone number, messenger, that might be WhatsApp as well, website, etc. The next step in the process after those contact details are pulled, and this is an optional step, is to run an email verification service like Never Bounce based on the contact details you just scraped. Step 5 is to combine all the data we just collected into the same format we expect in the Google Sheet and then write it to that Google Sheet. So in the combine step, we take the raw leads data, we take that new contact information, and we combine them. That's what we're doing in this loop. And finally, we define the columns that we expect to see in the CRM and populate those as well. Then there's a Google Sheets append sheet step, which just writes that new data to the CRM. Step 6, where to get the best leads. The best leads are the leads that haven't been contacted by other people in your niche and your competitors. So you want to go to find unique data sources. For that, I have a few ideas to get the juices flowing for you. I really love this Apify platform because it has scrapers for all different kinds of data sources. For example, this Facebook group scraper, if you have a lot of potential prospects that all live in a Facebook group, you can go ahead and use this Facebook group scraper and plug that into n8n along with the pipeline we covered and get a lot of good contact information from this. Another option is to scrape Google Maps for businesses in your niche. This is better for local, if you're targeting local businesses and that kind of type. Then there's also Pilot, G2, Capterra. You can scrape for reviews if customers are leaving bad reviews or just for all kinds of products in a certain category on these platforms. These platforms typically cover software companies. So if if your target customer is a software company, then it is great to scrape this kind of platform. Then there's also, you can scrape job boards. If your leads are based on some kind of hiring signal, then you can scrape job boards such as Indeed and Glassdoor. Again, scrapers available on Amplify, and you can use that to identify leads as well. And finally, if you want to get really creative, this requires more work, but it definitely pays off, is you can build your own scraper using Scraping Bee. So Scraping Bee is just the infrastructure that allows you to scrape any website without getting blocked or being detected as a bot. And so you can write your own code using ChatGPT or any other AI platform and plug that into Scraping Bee. And for this, some good ideas here are like other associations that you can get contact details of maybe certain businesses that are signed up to an association. And so that is for all great sources to get unique leads from. Now that's pretty much it. You now know how to get the best leads, how to ensure they're relevant to your business, how to get their contact information, and do all of this automated and for very cheap. So if you want to see more content like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.